And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, Mayor for the city of Roswell, New Mexico, Dennis Kintigh with us.
You make that sound so like, ta-da!
Very official. Well, it is.
All right.
You know, well, I mean, it devolves into stupidity about 10 seconds later when I start making jokes. But for a hot minute, we're official.
Whoa! Yay, Bob. All right.
Good morning, buddy. Sir. How are you today?
I'm dry today.
Good. Yes. That's. I think we're thankful for a day of two of not worrying about rainstorms or anything.
Well, it was Tuesday. It was, day before yesterday. I go inside to a meeting at 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like sunshiny, right? I'm thinking, well, I need to crack the windows on the car, make sure it doesn't get too warm.
Right.
I'm in there for an hour. And I come out, and what the heck happened? I'm
just
still drying out.
It was all sideways too, bro.
Yeah, and I'm hitting the car mats with Febreze this morning to try and get the little
musty smell.
All right.
We kind of luck out there though, compared to back east. I know you spent time back east, and you got to let things air out there. We're much more fortunate.
That's true
when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Just pull them out, and let them dry.
Yeah, but we've gotten a lot of rain and things. I don't know. Do you want to talk that stuff first? You want to talk city council?
Why not? I mean,
okay. But as far as updates go, I know. I think they've made some repairs out there in
levee land.
Yeah, in the land of the levees. But
drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
It broke.
But the levee was broke.
But have they given out any
good
updates?
Old boys drinking whiskey and rye? Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I don't want to finish that song because no, that's not the day I'm going to die. I don't plan on it anyway. But.
That's really the New Mexico Chavez County Flood Commission.
Mm-hmm.
The reports I've seen in the newspaper is that they've been working on doing more repairs to that levee and digging a trench so that the flow out in the Rocky Arroyo. This is hard to really explain without a diagram.
Sure,
so it works better on TV than radio.
Yeah,
but that's in the works.
They got to reroute things, and
they got to reroute some stuff. So
kind of like what I'm sure people saw in the news yesterday, Deming dealing with their flooding, and they're talking about that canal, and it sounds like they're going to do a workaround, basically cut an offshoot around the town the other way. But anyway, they're dealing with the same kind of deals in a different scenario.
The good news is this should take care of any kind of disputes over water delivery to Carlsbad. And on that, I would defer to the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District. Those guys, PVACD, the great group of guys and gals who are responsible for protecting and preserving our water aquifer. That organization over the decades has done an incredible job.
Absolutely.
And we're in an unbelievable position water-wise.
We're blessed there, very much.
We really
so.
are.
Yeah.
And so anyway, hats off to the PVACD. If you don't know who they are one of those silent servants of the community that do an incredible job.
They're the offensive linemen. Where they, when they're doing their job, you don't know a thing about it. It's when things go problems that they rise to the spotlight. So the fact you haven't heard much about them, that's a good thing.
Yep. Where you got it. All right. So
just real quick, let's just touch on UFO Festival.
Oh, okay,
I know we're a couple days past it, but early numbers things. What kind of indications?
Everything I've heard is just off the cuff. We haven't had any hard numbers yet. I think we'll get some information tonight. But I'm hearing hotels were full. I did touch base with Councilor Roebuck, who runs Spaceport. Roswell texted me that they were at capacity the whole weekend.
There were crowds every time I'm downtown.
And what I've heard is that McDonald's, the UFO McDonald's, did a bang-up record weekend. We also heard that I know that our visitor center, but it's only been operating for 2 years, and last year didn't really count. This was a record weekend for them. And all in all, sounds very solid. We're going to be doing a after-action review.
Sure.
Sometime in the next week or two, look at what went well and what needs to be improved.
Sure. The good, the bad, and the ugly of everything, and then figure out how to make it better.
And, the reality is what I tell people about this, especially people from elsewhere who want to comment about it, this is not like normal, or I shouldn't say normal, more like not like regular festivals. By that I mean this is a full spectrum of attendees. There are some who come here because they are truly, seriously committed to understanding the UFO phenomenon.
The investigative side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they tend to be based or affiliated or visit the UFO Museum and Research Center.
Less likely to be wearing the foil hats and the Googles and all that stuff.
And in reality, we have on the other spectrum exactly that. We have people here who are just out to have a good time, and they're kind of sometimes irreverent, shall we say. And, yeah, they put on the full hats and whatnot. So you've got this odd, interesting mix. And what I'm thrilled about is that everybody gets along. You know, everybody, having fun, being serious.
Well, one needs the other, to be honest. I mean, without the funny, goofy side, the serious side doesn't have the money to do what it needs to do, and vice versa. Without the serious side, then we're just a bunch of people running around with foil hats on our heads.
So, it makes for a great weekend. And I talked to people who had been here from elsewhere, and they're saying they were very impressed with how friendly everybody was, how positive and how upbeat was. So I'm very optimistic. We're gonna, like I said, we will be looking at what we did really well, and what we can improve. And that's going to be...
at the end of the day, people came to town, had a good time. For our first time in a long time, we had packed streets, people going in and out of businesses, people living life, going out, sitting out on the courthouse lawn, participating, sitting out in the grass, watching live music, going down to the convention center and doing things, going to the zoo and doing things. Obviously, the rain kind of made things a little bit tricky.
Well, that was true.
But given all the variables and given everything we've been dealing with for the last year, I call this a success. I think this is a great win.
And hats off to Juanita Jennings and her team for being very nimble. If I'm not mistaken, the decision to move stuff inside the convention center was made Wednesday morning.
Well, and to be honest, I agree with that, because you can't put people in limbo for 3 days. It's like, look, this may bite us in the butt. It may not, but if at least we commit one path, then we can do everything we can and commit to another path. And that's what they did. I guess part of you thinks I was wishing it was going to be pouring Saturday night to make it feel justified, and it wasn't. But that's anytime you're planning an event like this and you've got that many people involved, that's the way you got to do it. You can't do it any other way and not really have problems.
And it was still kind of hot and muggy outside. Yeah. So it was nice to be inside in the air conditioning.
Was nice.
Yeah. So, we appreciate the air conditioning. So
absolutely.
So that's all there. Like I said, we'll be looking at stuff. I think the biggest difference this year is that Main Street was not closed. Now, was that a good thing? I actually think it was, but, I know there's others who feel differently.
Well, that's why we'll assess it, and we'll kind of see it from all angles.
But to me, what was really neat about it is you could drive down Main Street, and I did different times of the day over the weekend, and there's that activity going on the sidewalks. So, yes, we will take a hard look at this, and we'll see where we want to go in the next few years.
But hopefully all of our local businesses and everything got back to this being more like our Black Friday weekend, and got back into the black here a little bit, hopefully. So, but good deal. All right, so tonight is City Council, as is the second Thursday of every month, 6 p.m. out at the Convention and Civic Center in the City Council chambers there.
And we're wide open. Remember, we're open now. We're free.
That's right. We are officially not pandemic. July 1, you come and go as you please.
Her Highness has granted us permission to gather.
Oh, Hail Highness.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whatever. Sorry about that.
But
that was political.
But the if you don't feel comfortable or anything, you can still go to the Zoom, the go-to meeting on the city's website, roswell-nm.gov.
Or you can just watch us online. Either you go to the go-to if you want to interact in some way. But if you just want to watch online, get
your popcorn and your drink and sit down and click on the link there.
So there's three options. The more effective, I think, is of obviously being in person. That way, if you show up, you want to visit with some people beforehand, you can do it.
Sometimes those face-to-face get a little bit more effective than over a screen or on a phone call or something.
So I got a new cell phone here real quick. I'm This is traumatic.
You notice that is new.
Yeah, this is very traumatic, going through changes in
and I noticed that I'm not hearing the piano keys or any of the. Did you change
I'm still
your
getting used to the sound differences, okay? Because my wife is helping me.
Okay,
she's my adult supervision and all this. So I survived.
You will get there.
I will get there. It's like it's kind of like a grief cycle. You're laughing. He's laughing.
I get it, though. I get it.
Remember what I did for a living? I would much rather be the front guy in the stack doing the search warrant than changing my damn phone.
Yeah, I get it. I know. There's moments I get, which exactly you're saying here in radio.
I'm going to lose everything.
Why did they fix it? They didn't need fixing.
Yeah. It was fine. I liked it. Anyway, so all right, here we go. We're gonna have 2 public hearings on proposed ordinances. All right, what does this mean? These are actually really in the weeds.
Okay.
The first one deals with
weeds.
Funny, you're good. Dealing with building codes.
Okay.
Because the state adopts them, and this is another example of Santa Fe likes to tell us what to do. Basically, we really don't have a lot of choice, but we have to adopt these anyway, or else the state will
face the wrath.
Yeah. We'll walk through it and get a little bit of an understanding. Next one up, similar thing, election code. A couple years ago, the state legislature and the governor up in Santa Fe, in their infinite wisdom, decided they knew how to run our local elections better, and so they stripped out a whole chunk of state statutes dealing with it. Well, we didn't change our municipal elections. Ours will be in March of next year, just like we've always done since New Mexico was a territory. We haven't changed. We will be the first Tuesday in March will be Election Day. First Tuesday in January is when you file.
Gotcha.
So that's different from what most other entities are doing. So we have to kind of basically put into ordinance what we're doing because they eliminated the state statutes.
Gotcha.
We're not changing from what we have been doing. We're just codifying or codifying, however you want to put it, in city ordinance.
Gotcha.
All right.
Good deal. Does that create more paperwork for you guys in terms of, because the election cycle is different on serving times and signatures and all? Does that?
No, we don't do any petitions or anything like that.
Okay.
No, because like I said, we're not changing.
Gotcha.
We're staying with what we have been doing. We're not making anything different
than
what we've done over the last 100 years.
Okay. So if you want to run for city council or mayor or any of that stuff, January 2nd of next year.
4th, actually. It's the second Tuesday.
But will be your day you can declare such.
Okay, now we got into what would have been our consent items. We originally had 10, but Councilor Oropesa, as his right as a city councilor, holds 7 items off of consent, and we will hear them then in that order.
Okay.
First one is awarding of a consulting contract to an outfit called Mead & Hunt for the Air Service Development Consulting. Mead & Hunt has been our consultant for the last few years. We were very happy with them. I was anyway. But we had the contract had expired, so went out with an RFP.
Okay.
Had others bid, and bam.
Gotcha.
So this actually is authorizing the city manager to enter into final negotiations.
Okay.
And that's an interesting twist because we're not really approving the contract. We're saying, city manager, we're giving you the authority to negotiate the final contract.
Gotcha.
And if you like it, it's good.
Okay. So it sounds like the details are close. Just button it up, finalize it, and then make it so.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Now we got a rehabilitation project for North Atkinson. Award going to a company out of Albuquerque for about $1.3 million. North Atkinson needs it. North Atkinson is getting the snot kicked out of it, as is College, because of the rain, and that's the truck bypass.
So a lot of weight, a lot of heavy vehicles on that route.
I should put the word truck bypass in quotes because it's really not much of a bypass. We don't have an eastern bypass. That was talked about years ago, and nobody's ever pursued it anymore. As a result, all this truck traffic comes into the city rather than being on on the outside. On the west side, we've got that bypass.
Sure, but you can't access it coming from the other direction.
And coming from the other direction. So what this does is it basically preserves 2nd and Main, but we only divert this traffic up to College and Main, and then it's Main North. A lot of wear and tear on College.
So is that something maybe in the future we need to look at? Is putting on an east bypass on the east side?
I would really like to see that done.
Obviously, that would be more than just the city involved. And
it's actually outside the city limits, so we're going to have to rely on the Department of Transportation and the county to do something. But we'll see.
At least set up their equipment and run the numbers and get the data to see what kind of traffic we're talking about here. And
would be nice.
Yeah, see, at least do the investigative side of it.
Yes, let's take a hard look at it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe some of our legislators are listening and can help with that. Next item up this is really kind of weird, but you'll get this better than anybody else.
Okay.
Old Walker Air Force Base had bunkers.
What?
Yeah.
Military installation at bunkers?
Yeah, these have bunkers. So we've got a company come Bravo 3 Holdings to lease one of the bunkers. Now, I can't remember these guys are fireworks or something else, but, bunkers are where you put things that can go boom.
Yeah, munitions and things that they don't want the public just hanging out and loitering around.
So it's kind of a really, how much do you lease these for? What are they worth? And it's really hard to kind of really know. We're trying to get a better grip on this. This is interesting because they're like, all right, it's concrete, dirt, a door, but there's no electricity, there's no water, but it's secure and it's designed to minimize the boom. Should it go boom or to keep it from going boom, to keep bad things from coming into it that would make it go boom.
Yes. So it's a very unique skill set.
It is. So
it is hard to price that in generalities.
Yes. So anyway, that's going to be up. We're going to talk about that one.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, if what would go in there for city needs or anything?
No, we don't. We're leasing this to the other outfit.
So private.
Yeah, private.
But then it's like, well, what are you putting in there?
Well, yeah, I can't remember if these are fireworks guys or like the Red Mountain Arsenal guys.
Okay.
Anyway. Then we have once again our disposal of surplus personal property. That's a ongoing monthly event. We're going to have a list of things that we're getting rid of. Now, if you're interested, there's actually a website you can go. You actually go to the city website.
Okay.
And there's a way to click onto it that will take you to the site that you can see because it's all done online.
Okay.
And I just kind of learned this recently.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. You can, we had some of the stuff we got, believe it or not, was from an estate when a person died, donated stuff to the library.
Okay.
Well, some of this is like furniture and like coffee mugs.
Gotcha. Things that may or may not be useful to the library.
Yeah.
But might be useful in other parts of the city.
Or, well, we really don't have a use for it elsewhere in the city. And so
maybe a nonprofit or something could find some use.
Or buy it for yourself.
Yeah.
Buy that living room set.
True. Probably nice stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Haven't seen it. All right. So we got that. We'll go through it. Water Trust Board, blah, 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 Finance Authority. We're going to work on the whole water lines over there in the Edgewood area. Where's the Edgewood area? Edgewood area is where Edgewood School used to be, right around Garden and 6th, 7th. It's basically an area north of 2nd, south of College, east of Garden, and west of Atkinson.
Gotcha. Okay.
Some of us called it Fruitopia because you have pear and cherry and orange. I don't think there's an orange, but anyway, apple or whatever.
I think we could grow oranges here. I mean, not like California or Florida, but
So that's going to be, that's some of the oldest water lines in town. That's some of the oldest areas in town, and that needs to be renovated. So they're replacing that. So we're going to talk about that one.
Yeah, it's just that thing we've been talking about for years now, the last 10 years. It's just there's a shelf life on all this piping that was put into the really statewide. And so now it's all kind of deteriorating right around this time. It's actually, I think the shelf life is about 50. We're looking at about 70. So it's really gone above and beyond what it's. So so that's why you're seeing really phasily, slowly throughout the city, we're swapping out this infrastructure and replacing it with something that'll, I guess, last another 75 years.
Yep. So we had 2 more infrastructure type things dealing with pavement rehabilitation, basically approval of to accept DOT's funding. Where you have the State Department of Transportation requires us to pass a resolution saying, yes, we will accept the money. Go figure.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, just to be sure. Then there's also support for the application for money. Remember, this is different from accepting this. Now we're applying for money for about $236,000 to help with Spring River Trail rework.
Okay.
So we'll address that. Where we go on from here, we go to more attention to the Spring River, the idea of connecting the Spring River to the Cielo Grande Trail, which we've been talking about for a long time. And we're applying for another grant for that.
Okay.
So there's 2 different things. There's a grant to rehabilitate and then a grant to connect the trails. Okay. And
these are kind of the projects that the state likes to fund, isn't it?
It seems to be.
The lay of the land right now is you've got a better shot at getting these kind of projects funded.
And I had a local citizen, very much a walker, who would like us to look seriously at not asphalt, but on using like a crushed gravel and that is
softer.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so we'll be talking about that in the meeting. Well, and on to more goodies. So the police department is asking for approval to purchase some new tasers.
Okay.
And then I got a couple people for various boards. Then we're going to do a project for the school district where we're going to run city water out to Mountain View Middle School.
Okay.
And then the school district will reimburse us when the project's done.
Okay.
That's been an issue for Mountain View, East Grand Plains, and Brendo Middle.
Seems like once or twice a year they're always had issues there.
Or once or twice a month.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw rocks at Brendo Water Co-op,
but yeah, and
there's a reason why they're coming to us. We've put together some rough estimates of doing water to Brendo Middle and East Grand Plains. We'll see. The school district will need to get different funding for that.
A little bit more logistics involved to get through city.
Brendo Middle is going up higher, and East Grand Plains is out there in East Grand Plains.
So there's got to be some engineering into put into place there before those. But
we were going to do a road repair list consideration, but Councilor Roebuck has asked me to go ahead and pull it. He doesn't think we're ready for it yet. So we'll go ahead and we will pull that. And then we're looking at a contract for RFP for contracts for janitorial custodial.
Okay.
What we're looking at here is to have a group of contractors that we can go to quickly if we need help with janitorial services. Something like there's a big spill, big mess, bam, we don't have enough staff on hand to deal with everything. Here we go. We will have a closed session. We're going to talk about attorney-client privilege discussion regarding issues with Army Corps of Engineers and with Chaves County. These are 2 separate matters.
Okay.
And no, we're not going to discuss them because it's client attorney of privilege.
As we say every time when the council goes into closed session, there's one of 2 reasons: either discuss personnel matters, which we don't want to put in the public eye for the reason of that's just rude, and then obviously legal things when they're entering any kind of legal agreements or disagreements or any kind of thing like that, where lawyers need to look over paperwork and things. They don't do that in a public light, no more so than if you're say accused of a crime. You wouldn't sit out in Wendy's announcing all your strategy plan with your lawyer.
Bingo, bango. You got it. So I don't think we got anything that's really earth-shattering here. A lot of this is what we commonly refer to as housekeeping, but that really isn't a fair assessment. I mean, this is, in many ways, how would I say it, the steak and potatoes, bread and butter. Mm-hmm. We're talking repairing water lines, replacing water lines. We're talking about rebuilding hiking trails or building new ones. We're talking about how do we go about dealing with roads being renovated and repaired. What exactly are we striving to do? And this is, one of the fascinating things about this city is we're doing all of this. This is a town of 50,000. We're 200 miles from anything bigger. We all know that. Hell, if you drive east heading to Tatum, you better fill up. Same thing if you're going up to Vaughan. It's 90 miles going to Vaughan before you can buy a bottle of water or a gallon of gas. I tell that to people from back east, and their eyes just glaze over.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? It's like, no.
But what I'm getting at is that this community has everything from an airport to a zoo.
Sure.
We don't have regional partners.
We're an island.
Yeah, we're an island or an oasis. I like the oasis.
I like the oasis.
This works better. We're an oasis because there's no other significant partners here. Artesia's too far away. Lake Arthur, Dexter, Hagerman, wonderful communities, but they have a different level of service that they're working on. Our landfill. Landfill is the landfill for this area, and then we run it. And in the water department, I mean, there's a reason why we're extending water service out to out to Mountain View, because our team here does a great job.
Sure.
So anyway, we're working on all of this, and
and that's true. I mean, you talk about just things in general. Like obviously, we run the city, and that's priority one. But people outside the city very much rely on the city's services for support and things. And without those agreements and those things, probably people wouldn't have access to a lot of amenities and things because there's no other way to provide it to you. So
and so very true. I mean, the Roswell Fire Department, God bless them, these guys are professionals. A lot of people don't realize it, but the Roswell Fire Department will be the primary responder to an incident, fire, and problem at the schools that are outside the city limits. Just that's a fact. Churches, occupied dwellings. There's a fire.
Highways.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because I keep pointing this out to people. When I did a ride along with the county sheriff a year or two ago, and there was an accident halfway to Vaughan, and they're in Tobacco County, and guess whose fire and rescue was there? Roswell Fire and Rescue was sitting right there, taking care of the situation.
And you've hit upon a really important point. There is no one else.
Yeah.
There is no other alternative to these kinds of emergency services except for like the Roswell Fire Department. A lot of times, Roswell Police Department will go outside the city limits as well to assist in matters. We do have a sheriff's department that's very vigorous, and they can handle a lot of it, state police. But when it comes to emergency medical services and fire, there truly is no one else. I remember years ago, Christ Church burned to the ground, and I was still in the FBI. Got the phone. Church fires kind of got everybody's attention. Anyway, so I was in the FBI. Got the phone call at 2:00 in the morning, and we're out there. And the interesting thing, that's on the west side of Sycamore. That is outside the city limits. But the teams that were fighting that fire were Roswell Fire Department. Now, the other interesting thing is the water lines were not there on Sycamore yet. They were being built, but they weren't there. So those trucks had to run down to Fire Station 6.
Fill up and
bring back.
Wow.
It was going back and forth the whole time.
They have to use what's the fireman? Where they carry the buckets? They call that a fireman, not a carry.
No, they did not use open buckets.
I'm just kidding. But But yeah, I don't think people realize how much, even outside the city, our resources are. While we're talking law enforcement, rescue, that kind of thing, I do have a kind of curious question. I saw on the news yesterday, New Mexico State Police, talking about with the legalizing and decriminalizing of marijuana thing, they're retiring like 8 of their canines.
Yes.
Is that impacting Roswell in any way, shape, or form? I know we're just starting to get into that game, but were ours bred for marijuana sniffing, or are they doing some of the other stuff?
Excellent question. Yeah. And that was the chief of police, Chief Phil Smith, and his staff were wise to anticipate this, I think, very foolish move by the state.
Yeah.
But the dogs that we have are trained to detect other substances than marijuana.
Gotcha. So therefore, more heroin and
so we don't have to worry about that. These dogs will not give you a false positive.
Okay.
On marijuana,
so
they
foresight was used.
Foresight was used. There was cocaine, methamphetamine, those kinds of substances, and heroin, all the goodies.
Yeah, fentanyls and the associated opiates with and all that stuff.
All that.
Well, because I saw that and I was like, I never thought of that, and I was like, I wonder, because we just started getting back into the canine, which I love.
Yes,
I think it's a huge asset to our law enforcement.
I agree.
In protecting.
And it's interesting because it's multifaceted. Mm-hmm. You also have the dog as a, shall we say, icebreaker, situational, de-escalator. That sounds really weird, but
I get what you're saying, because it can easily quiet the room or escalate the room with a dog in the presence.
That's right. Some people, a puppy, how nice. And others going, oh my God.
But when it's time for business, that dog can instantly. And let's face it,
these are not attack dogs, so they don't do that. But
the presence of it is what I'm saying.
Bingo.
People, if that dog gets excited and starts barking, I'm sorry, if I'm a bad guy, that's going to make me a little nervous. You know what I mean?
I know.
And you don't know, and you don't know, or it's like it's a dog at the end of the day. So yes, I think people that are just nefarious by nature, when they know that the dog does not care about those things, they're more likely to behave themselves.
So along a similar line, next time you have my buddy Sheriff Harrington in here, ask him. This is just going to be a teaser.
Okay.
Ask him about the mouthpieces.
Okay. I think he's in tomorrow with us. Okay. So I think you'll be in the 7. He'll be in the 8 tomorrow. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, ask him about the mouthpieces that they all get. So anyway, this is a similar type thing dealing with a dog in the room. But anyway, like we were saying, a pretty straightforward meeting.
Sure.
Dealing with a lot of important stuff, but it's the bread and butter of our steak and potatoes. I like steak and potatoes. Yeah.
I'd go for some steak and potatoes. I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Right. Well, don't forget, tonight, 6 p.m. is City Council. The public is not only invited but encouraged to participate and attend. Like the mayor said at the beginning, the world is opened up. Come on down, sit wherever in the designated sitting spots, obviously. But if you don't want to come down, or I get it, it's like 5 o'clock, my pants come off and I'm in front of the computer, fine. Then you can go go to the city's website and roswell-nm.gov, view it there.
Keep your hands up.
That's right. Keep your hands above the table. But whatever your proclivities are there. Right. But I definitely, invite folks to watch this, because this is city government in action.
Yeah.
When you're on your Facebook or whatever social media, and you're wanting to know about this or upset about this, this is where you learn and things and get involved if you support or want to change something. That's how it's done. So.
Yes, sir.
But thank you, sir, as always, for the visit.
All right.
We will see you McDonald's Friday, 7:30 tomorrow to get the recap.
Sports Center version.
Yes, the recap.
Right. The recap.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, sir. And,
thank you.
Stay cool today. It's going to get a little muggy.
So. Yeah, I know.
That's the only problem with a 90-degree day after a bunch of rain.
Yeah.
It's like 60 or 70% humidity.
I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was supposed to be dry here.
Yeah, it stinks.